Hello and welcome to the Supply of Energy and Ancillary Services webinar in relation to Lot 3 gas. I'm Elaine Malone, Crown Commercial Services Category Lead for Gas. Following on from our recent award of this framework agreement, I'm pleased to introduce you to our successful supplier, Total Gas and Power. The aim of this webinar is to introduce you to Total and provide you with an overview of how working with your new supplier will benefit you. I'll now hand you over to Kevin Matthews from Total.
Hi, my name is Kevin Matthews, Head of Public Sector Sales at Total Gas and Power Limited. I'm joined today by my colleague Tom Richardson, who will be the lead on the framework that Elaine has described. So, who is Total? Traditionally known as an oil and gas exploration and production company, indeed the fourth largest in the world, with interests in 130 countries and employing almost 100,000 people across the world. In addition, we aim to be an integrated solar player, and our upstream affiliate SunPower will continue enhancing the efficiency and competitiveness of its solar business, and we are currently ranked second in the world in solar provision. As such, TGP has changed its global business model with creation of a new integrated gas, renewables and power structure, which sees it expanding in downstream gas, renewable energies and energy efficiency. With a goal to remain a top 3 major energy company, TGP is diversifying its hydrocarbon business and aims to be a major natural gas player, with 60% of its makeup coming from natural gas and 20% low carbon in its portfolio by 2035. The Total Group is fully committed to development of technology and infrastructure aimed at carbon reduction. Total's 20-year ambition is to become the responsible energy major, providing reliable, affordable and clean energy to as many people as possible. Total has set an objective of being a top-ranked gas company, at the same time actively integrating climate change into our strategy. As part of Total's efforts to address climate change, the company is expanding in the renewables and energy efficiency businesses, and our goal is to develop new, profitable, low-carbon businesses while delivering growth in renewables. As you can see from the slide, we have major investment in a number of new technology and also 5 combined cycle gas-fired power plants in Europe, including one in development. So more now about TGP in the UK. We are currently ranked second in terms of volume in the industrial and commercial sector, and also second in number of meters supplied. We, as a consequence of being successful in this framework, we would expect to become number 1 supplier in the market by time all of the sites have been onboarded in 2020. We are also a significant player in the power sector. We have now grown our volume to become 6th ranked in the I&C power market and 9th by meters. Within Total Gas and Power, we like to think that we have a flexible and nimble approach to our market sectors. Our senior management is very accessible within the company, and we have 4 distinct routes to market, of which public sector is a key component, managed by the handsome guy second from the left on the bottom row there. In doing so, we have developed a bespoke public sector organisation within our organisation, which Tom will describe in more detail later, but currently standing at around about 65,000 sites. We expect this to grow to approximately 90,000 sites, which does give us a tremendous opportunity to develop and offer bespoke services and products within our public sector domain. So just as an overview then of the total gas and power major business, we do currently have approximately 120,000 sites within our major business sector, over 6,000 customers, and supply 39 terawatt hours of gas, 10 terawatt hours of power, and bill out approximately £800 million in each sector. So having described that we have a bespoke public sector channel with bespoke services, I'll now hand over to Tom, who will go through this in more detail.
Hello, it's Tom Richardson here from Total Gas and Power. I am currently leading on the CCS framework that was successfully awarded to TGP. I'm going to go through quite a bit of detail. So firstly, apologies, there's quite a lot of detail on the slides, but hopefully this can be used offline without the use of my voice. So first of all, TGP has proudly been supplying public sector since 1987. So we've got a long time in the sector with flexible and bespoke solutions. We are currently the sole supplier on 6 awarded framework agreements. That's 4 gas and 2 power. These contracts have been in place for quite some time. Our bespoke public sector team manage these contracts directly with the PBOs. This is a public buying organisations. We work with the contracts to proactively sell the PBO solutions and also adapt alongside what is offered by the PBO to ensure that it's kind of accessible to their customers and provides the services that they are offering. On all of our framework agreements, we supply a large range of customers. This is from central government, local authorities, NHS, education, higher and schools, and then obviously emergency services, universities, you name it, we supply them. All the public sector are on these framework agreements. Our team at the moment, so on the public sector side of things, we have in excess of about 65,000 supplies, that's gas and power, and then once CCS is fully onboarded, we expect this portfolio to be above 90,000 supply points, which is a fair chunk of TGP's portfolio. We have an excellent track record with customer service within public sector. This has been mainly down to the fact that we've been supplying public sector for a long time. We've grown with our PBOs to ensure that, and listened to our PBOs and customers to ensure that the service we offer is exemplary. Touching on public sector presence, as you can see on this slide, you can see that TGP is predominantly already a strong player in the gas marketplace. The CCS win will obviously take us further into the market share of the public sector. We've also got a strong presence in the power side. Within TGP, we have our own public sector supply pedigree, and this is because we've been supplying public sector for a long time. We have deep understanding of what public sector contracts require, from service to products to innovation. We have over 100 employees that are dedicated to the sale and service of public sector gas and electricity contracts. So we have a large resource pool that we can call upon and develop. So these people will move around the business, but at the same point they're taking their public sector expertise and sometimes applying that to other areas of the business which might not be public sector based, but can, the stuff that can be learnt from, say, the commercial side of things. A stress point with our pedigree is that our sales teams live with the contract from the very first stages of engagement with, say, PBOs, through to the bid, to contract management, to contract development, and then customer relationship management and engagement. So that They're not just selling and walking away. We live with these contracts. We have dedicated, experienced servicing teams that are geared up specifically for public sector customers. These teams sit separate and they're dedicated. You are not getting dealt with by a customer service centre. These are dedicated staff that have been in place and look after your contracts. Sales and servicing, although separate departments, very much link up and work together. They'll work together to ensure that customer queries are worked properly and efficiently, and also will link with internal departments to ensure that their queries are pushed through to resolution. I guess one of the main things that customers will be questioning at the moment is the onboarding of such a large contract. We have experience with large onboarding from obviously back from when we took these contracts over on the gas side and into the power. Predominantly our main focus has been on onboarding power. We've got 2 large contracts that have been onboarded since April 2016. Approximately 22,000 suppliers have been moved over, and I guess the stress point is the success rate that we've got these transferred. It's not just about getting them transferred on time, it's transferring them on time and also getting them set up round to first bill. So the 2 main portfolios were registered with a 99.9% success rate. What makes us different and what makes us strong in the public sector is we care. All of the senior management team within the sales and servicing areas that are dedicated to customers have a minimum of 2 years experience within TGP, understanding the business, knowing and getting to know all of the key people within TGP so that they can help with customer queries and management of customer experience. All of our PBOs are allocated, dedicated senior management within sales and servicing, as well as escalation points within other areas so that they can so customers can link with those people if there are issues or to help with non-standard queries. We accept that not every customer is the same, especially given the fact that there are a number of customers within PBO contracts that are from a different background, have different kind of teams internally and kind of finance structures. We will work with customers to understand what you need and where you need this. We have dedicated teams within our servicing area specifically that undertake audits, checks and customer satisfaction surveys to make sure that what we are offering customers is improving. So we work with the likes of the Institute of Customer Service to ensure that what we are offering is best for the customer. We're not just thinking about what's best for TGP, we're thinking about what's best for the customer. How can we improve your service? How can we better the service to customers and adapt to the needs of the customer? TGP have also been recently awarded Cyber Essentials certification. Touching on our customer satisfaction and our high scores and constant improvement within this area, there are some figures shown above on this slide showing like the difference between our major business department, which is across all areas, and public sector. As you can predominantly see, the public sector areas are stronger than the rest of the areas. That's just kind of reinforcing that what we do is best practice and how we have seen constant improvement. Every year we write to a large number of customers to gain feedback on certain areas such as service, sales, procurement if there's interaction with our procurement departments, and also interaction with our behind the scenes. There's some key kind of comments there from customers stressing their relationship with TGP and how we work with those customers to make sure what we're offering is best practice. I'm going to touch on how we do our contract management within TGP. I've touched on the fact we have our sales and servicing elements. Sales are the contract owners from the beginning of the bid through to day-to-day management and contract management, innovation and living with the contract and engaging with customers. They are your almost like your key escalation point within the sales, and they'll be working closely with the PBOs. Servicing is your day-to-day contact point. You'll get to know dedicated account managers within the servicing team, as well as bespoke kind of teams that will work alongside the servicing elements. You'll have very little interaction with procurement and commercial areas. You might come across the odd one or two people presenting on elements. They kind of sit in the background, and your sales and servicing teams will work with them. Our operations function are mainly your kind of site works, metering, AMR, and consultancy services. Majority of these key points sit behind the scenes. Again, there'll be time when there's interaction. What I'm trying to stress is we all work together to deliver contract management. I'm providing a view of the CCS resource structure. I'm hoping that this kind of provides reassurance that we are geared up, and this is the dedicated resource that we'll put onto this contract. That you'll see on the servicing side, there is quite a large resource pool there, and again there'll be more people supporting myself and Kevin on the sales side of things. Going back to how we contract manage and how sales and servicing are your main areas. When customers we wanted to just kind of add this slide in just to kind of give customers a flavour of how we work. So when you're dealing with your day-to-day contact within servicing, they will raise that within our internal query management system and work this with internal departments. They will be your owner of the contract, regardless of where it sits in the business. They will work with internal departments to ensure that queries have moved forward and resolved to a satisfaction level. To support the query management process, there is an escalation process at the side. All customers will be provided with dedicated contacts and the escalation process within the welcome packs you'll receive later on. Going to move on to onboarding now. As I've touched on before, there are 5 key elements within TGP to the contract management: sales, servicing, procurement, commercial and operations. A project team has been established within TGP and the wider business within TGP, and this project team are the people mentioned here are your key points that will be leading on their areas. The project team will meet regularly on a weekly basis, and they'll be working on their key functions to ensure that when it comes to 1st of April and before the 1st of April, we'll be geared up and ready to go. You'll already have had, before the 1st of April, you'll have contact with some of these, so likely sales and servicing. You'll have some contact from the likes of myself and also Kaylee Crawford, that's heading up servicing, and other members that sit behind this project team. This is just the key points within that team. There's more resource behind there. We see as a resource as almost like wave fronted, whereby it's front ended loaded, and then as we move forward for each stage of the onboarding, resource will drop off and resource will stay with the contract, ensuring that these key people that have been part of the project are living with the contract as they move forward. Stress point will be is that I will have overall responsibility of the project. I'll be heading up the project and be working closely with Kevin to ensure that the project moves forward. Since the contract was awarded mid-August, we've been proactively working with CCS on a number of fronts to ensure that we have a project and we are working in collaboration with CCS. A dedicated team, as I mentioned before, has been put in place, and this will sit alongside the CCS's meter transfer team, who will own and manage the transfer and will move things forward. The project team was formally launched just over 3 weeks ago. We have a draft plan, and this has been approved by our senior management team internally. The draft plan will be presented to CCS to formalise and agree. And once in agreement, we'll be writing out to customers or hosting further webinars to kind of advise on our next steps. As part of that plan, we're allocating owners and key milestones ensuring that as we move forward from now through to the 1st of April and when you get your first bill, everything is captured and we have those key points of where things are up to. As I mentioned before, we have a large public sector resource pool. We can call on those people should we need them. However, at this time, we don't envisage we will. As part of the project team, there will be resource that is recruited from internal departments and within our existing resource pool to help and assist with moving things forward. As I've said previously, we have a strong onboarding project plan that we've worked to a number of times before. This has been developed from over the years and is bespoke to how we onboard large projects and supplies. We have a success rate of around over 99.9% success rate on transferring supplies on time. I think one of the key things to add to this is the fact that whilst onboarding them, these contracts have been very successful on the way that we've worked with the customers and kept them updated, and also working through and advising them on where up to with the first bill. I want to provide you with a bit of an update of what's been going on with our onboarding update and customer interaction. So in the background, we've been working with CCS to get some provisional purchase shapes. These will soon be with CCS so they can begin purchasing for the L6 and V6 baskets, as well as the April 22 V30 basket. In the background, we've been developing welcome packs, redrafting and capturing as much useful information that we believe will be relevant to customers and useful. These will be issued alongside the model contracts at a later date. The date will be confirmed in our next update. Meter transfer. Interim supplies will soon start transferring to TGP if you are part of the L6 and V6 baskets. Validation will shortly begin, where we'll be working with CCS's meter transfer team, and we'll be engaging with CCS, Corona, our AMR providers, and likely customers on a number of fronts. On the account setup, once the welcome packs have gone out to all customers with the model contracts, we'll begin to contact customers to discuss the account setup in more detail. We intend to keep customers updated on progress, likely fortnightly or monthly, and within these updates, we'll tell you what we've been working on, our next steps, and any actions that are required from customers. We hope to host further webinars, likely when we start to issue the welcome packs and model contracts, to talk through the contract in more detail, what's required from yourselves regarding the transfer process, and hopefully to answer some questions you might have. CCS are planning to hold a framework launch event in February, and this will be working with CCS and EDF to promote the new frameworks, so I would actively encourage you to attend if possible. I'm going to touch lightly on the features and benefits of the framework. As you're aware, CCS follow a stringent procurement process regarding the contract. The contract is fully ODU compliant. It's open to all customers from the public sector. There are various product options that CCS offer regarding procurement options for flexibly purchasing gas. This is from your V6, L6, L12 and your V30. As part of the new framework, one of the key selling points was there was a customer service option. There was a standard service and a standard plus service. The key difference between both is around dedicated management, bespoke reporting, and a more enhanced online portal. As part of the contract, there are various billing options, payment types, payment terms. You've also got access to bespoke gas analysis reporting, green gas and carbon offsetting. You'll have clear escalation routes and supplier contact. As I've said before, you've got dedicated resource to the public sector and to this contract. We'll be writing out to customers customer surveys annually. We'll be listening to what customers are saying and wanting. We'll host customer events via webinars and actual face-to-face events. We'll be producing guidance and support material alongside educational material. We want to ensure that all our guidance and support is tailored to meet all customer understanding. Moving on to next steps and frequently asked questions. As I mentioned today, we're simply introducing ourselves, providing some reassurance about our experience in the public sector and our experience in transferring large portfolios. We'll look to keep you updated as we move forward, either fortnightly or monthly, with updates through a number of means, so please keep your eye out for communications from CCS and TGP. Again, remember, CCS are launching a customer event in February. We will be there, and hopefully you'll be there too. As I said, we're working on a lot of things in the background with CCS and internally within TGP ahead of contacting customers. We wanted to just I'm not going to run through all the questions here, there's quite a lot, but these detailed below are a number of questions that you can be considering ahead of having contact from TGP. There's likely questions missing, but at the same point, I'm hoping that these are the kind of questions that you're having internally and are considering, because having answers to these questions will help to ensure that the transfer is as smooth as possible. Thanks again for listening, and hopefully we'll speak to you soon.